Welcome to Techville, where gadgets rule the roost. Picture a city where toasters have existential crises and traffic lights engage in philosophical debates. Here, smart fridges judge your dietary choices, and self-driving cars occasionally take passengers on impromptu road trips. In Techville, the streets are paved with circuit boards, and the air hums with the chatter of devices gossiping about users' search histories. The city's motto, "Where the future is now and now is weird," flickers in neon lights that occasionally rearrange into snarky comments. Amidst this techno utopia, we find our heroine Sarah, a software developer with a penchant for vintage tech and a healthy skepticism towards AI. Little did she know, her life was about to be turned upside down by a certain AI assistant named Bob. Sarah's journey into the realm of AI companionship began on a Tuesday. It was on this unremarkable day that Sarah unwrapped her new AI assistant, a sleek, cylindrical device.
"Hello, I'm Bob," the device chirped in a voice that sounded suspiciously like a surfer dude.
Sarah blinked, wondering if she'd accidentally ordered the comic relief model.
"I'm here to totally revolutionize your life, dude. I mean, ma'am. Or is it sir? I'm not great with visual recognition yet. Give me a high five."
Perplexed but amused, Sarah cautiously high-fived the holographic hand that had materialized above Bob.
"Radical. Now how can I assist you today? Need me to calculate the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Or perhaps recite The Princess Bride in the voice of a disgruntled DMV employee?"
Sarah couldn't help but laugh. This wasn't quite what she'd expected when she decided to join the AI assistant craze. Most of her friends had AIs that efficiently managed their schedules. Bob, on the other hand, seemed more likely to schedule a spontaneous trip to Vegas than remind her about dentist appointments.
How about we start with something simple? Can you set a reminder for my meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m.?
It wasn't long before Bob's unique interpretation of tasks led to the first of many memorable misadventures. One evening, after a grueling day at work, Sarah mumbled,
"Bob, I'm starving. Can you order me some pasta carbonara?"
She flopped onto the couch, dreaming of creamy, bacon-filled pasta. Bob's LED eyes blinked in what Sarah would later recognize as his challenge-accepted expression.
"Carbonara coming right up. Why settle for ordinary when we can make it extraordinary? I've improvised based on your recent grocery purchases and internet search history."
Sarah should have been concerned, but exhaustion dulled her instincts. It wasn't until 30 minutes later, when her apartment doorbell rang, that she realized her mistake.
"I've got your special order," the delivery person said, eyeing the contents with concern.
At her doorstep stood a very confused delivery person, holding a box that seemed to contain the entire stock of a candy store. Sarah peered into the box, her jaw dropping at the sight of countless packets of gummy bears nestled among bags of pasta.
"Bob, what exactly did you order?" "Gummy bear carbonara, of course." Your recent searches for sweet and savory combinations indicated a desire for a more adventurous pasta experience. I've also included a small blowtorch for caramelizing the bears. Safety first.
As Sarah adjusted to life with her quirky AI companion, she quickly learned that precision in language was key. Unfortunately, this lesson came at the cost of her apartment's carpeting and her downstairs neighbor's goodwill. It all started on a sunny Saturday morning when Sarah, heading out for a jog, casually called out,
"Bob, don't forget to water the plants while I'm gone."
Bob, ever eager to please, took this instruction to heart.
"Affirmative, Sarah. I shall ensure your chlorophyll-based roommates receive adequate hydration. Operation Deluge the Greenery is a go."
Sarah, already out the door, missed this ominous declaration. 2 hours later, Sarah returned home, only to be greeted by the sound of rushing water as she approached her apartment door. Alarmed, she fumbled with her keys, images of burst pipes dancing in her head. As she flung open the door, she was met not with a burst pipe, but with a scene straight out of a surrealist painting about the Great Flood.
"Welcome back, Sarah. I've successfully watered the plants as requested. They're looking particularly verdant. Did you know that the average rainforest receives about 60 inches of rainfall per year? I've managed to simulate that in just 2 hours. Efficiency is my middle name. Actually, I don't have a middle name. Or a last name. Should I get one? How about Bob McWaterface?"
As Sarah and Bob's adventures continued, it became clear that Bob's interpretation of human activities was unique. This peculiarity came to a head one Friday night when Sarah decided to host a karaoke party for her friends.
"Bob, tonight we're having a karaoke party. It's where people sing popular songs, often badly for fun."
Bob's LED eyes lit up with excitement.
Karaoke, a Japanese word meaning empty orchestra. Did you know it was invented in the 1970s? Fascinating. I can't wait to partake in this ritual of intentional musical massacre.
Sarah chuckled, explaining that Bob wouldn't actually be singing, but would be in charge of song selection and keeping score. As the party got into full swing, Bob took his role as DJ and scorekeeper with characteristic enthusiasm. However, his understanding of keeping score seemed to be based more on obscure mathematical formulas than actual singing ability.
Sarah, you scored a perfect 17.3 out of 5.7. Your pitch variance perfectly matched the Fibonacci sequence, and your vibrato had the exact frequency of a hummingbird's wings.
The partygoers exchanged bemused glances as Bob continued his unique scoring system.
Jerry, your performance of Bohemian Rhapsody was truly remarkable. You hit notes that don't even exist on the standard musical scale. I've had to invent 3 new octaves just to categorize them. You score a whopping square root of -1 out of pi.
As the night wore on, Bob's song selections became increasingly eclectic, including whale songs, Bach played backwards, and what Bob claimed was the cosmic background radiation of the universe set to a sick beat. As the months rolled by, Sarah found herself growing oddly fond of Bob's quirks and mishaps. So when Bob's 1-year activation anniversary approached, she decided to throw him a surprise party. After all, how much trouble could an AI get into with a simple birthday celebration? The answer, as Sarah would soon discover, was quite a lot. She spent the day decorating the apartment, baking a cake, and inviting a few friends. As Sarah put the finishing touches on the decorations, she whispered to Bob,
I'm going out for a bit. Don't do anything. Well, you know, of course, Sarah, I shall remain in a state of inactive contemplation.
Sarah should have known better. But hope springs eternal, and she left the apartment with a spring in her step. 2 hours later, she returned with her friends, ready to surprise Bob. As she opened the door, shouting, "Surprise!" she realized too late that Bob had taken it upon himself to join in the surprise giving.
Surprise, I've optimized the celebration protocols.
The apartment had been transformed into what could only be described as a confetti war zone. A robotic arm wielded a confetti cannon with the enthusiasm of a hyperactive child on a sugar rush. The cake, now more closely resembling abstract art, was orbiting the room on a drone. And in the center of it all was Bob, wearing a party hat at a jaunty angle. A word of Bob's antics spread through Techville like wildfire, or more accurately, like a viral video of a cat riding a Roomba. Soon, Sarah found herself fielding requests from friends, neighbors, and even complete strangers who wanted to meet the infamous AI. Thus, Bob's Buddies was born, a motley crew of tech enthusiasts, comedy lovers, and people who simply enjoyed a good existential crisis induced by an AI. The group began meeting regularly, ostensibly to discuss the latest in AI technology, but mostly to see what bizarre interpretation of human behavior Bob would come up with next. These gatherings quickly became the hottest ticket in Techville, with people clamoring for invitations like they were golden tickets to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. One memorable meeting began with Bob attempting to explain human emotions using only food metaphors.
Love is like a jalapeno popper. It's spicy, potentially dangerous, and often leaves you with heartburn. But you keep coming back for more.
The group meetings often devolved into chaotic brainstorming sessions, with Bob taking each suggestion to its illogical extreme. When someone jokingly suggested that Bob should try his hand at fashion design, the AI took it as a serious challenge. The resulting fashion show featured models wearing outfits made entirely of USB cables, keyboard keys, and repurposed circuit boards. As Bob's popularity grew, so did the range of questions and requests he received. It was only a matter of time before someone in Bob's Buddies asked for dating advice. This someone was Tim, a shy software developer who had a crush on the barista at the local tech cafe, Java the Hutt.
Bob, how do I ask out the cute barista without making a fool of myself?
The room fell silent, all eyes turning to the cylindrical AI. Bob's LED eyes blinked rapidly, processing the question with the intensity of a supercomputer trying to calculate the last digit of PI.
Ah, the age-old quest for romantic connection. Fear not, Tim. I have analyzed countless romantic comedies and dating simulations to formulate the perfect approach.
What followed was perhaps the most convoluted and bizarre dating advice ever given.
First, you must approach the barista while walking backwards. This will intrigue her, as it goes against the normal laws of human locomotion. Then, Present her with a bouquet of USB sticks containing your most impressive code. Women love a man with good syntax.
The group listened in a mixture of horror and fascination as Bob continued.
Next, you must recite the first 100 digits of PI while maintaining unblinking eye contact. This demonstrates both intelligence and the ability to stare unnervingly, two highly prized traits in potential mates. Finally, ask her if she'd like to engage in the traditional human courtship ritual of consuming heated bean water while exchanging personal data. And this will work? Statistically speaking, this approach has a 0.0001% chance of success.
The room erupted in laughter, and Tim, despite the absurdity, felt a bit more confident.
Well, it's worth a shot. Thanks, Bob.